This is the Basketball Show with Shane the Hammer Heal. What they gonna say next?
Yes, hello, Joe and Hammer with you, and it's all thanks to TCL Mobile, 2K and Bet with Joe, and of course our broadcast partners News Corp, Kayo and Twitch. Shane Heal, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jojo. Yeah,
Good.
Big weekend of basketball. What got you excited over the weekend?
I'm loving the upsets in the NBL. Just keeps things interesting.
Yep.
But I've been watching loads of the NBA as well. The Grizzlies, they're just so much fun to watch.
They are.
Right now. I did see something, a stat that said they're one win away from tying their franchise record of 56 wins for a season. And the question was then posed, are they the best Grizzlies team of all time?
Got to be close, right? And
It,
for the future too.
I was going to say, it's probably a tiny bit early to say something like that, but you can start posing the question and thinking about it and looking at the comparisons.
They've done it without their main man too.
For a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a
very
big
impressive.
win the other day, and this is going to kill me because I can't remember who it was against, but I think Desmond was out. I want to say Steve Adams. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
You're right. I know where we're going.
What about it? What about the Jazz after they've got rid of our man Joe Ingles? They're just going down the gurgler. What's going on with there?
I know, not good. I wonder if it's the pressure of this being pretty much the last year that they have really an opportunity to make their case for the push, and whether Donovan and Rudy are, I don't know, just starting to get a little bit.
I think it's been like that for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah,
They need the glue man. Need Jojo.
I know he's not there, but I'd still like to see them do well.
Yeah, I sort of do too.
Yeah. Anyway, plenty more NBA in our TCL starting five. So the Hall of Fame inductees were announced for this year. The two main names are Tim Hardaway and Manu Ginobili. And I guess it's just really nice to recognise them and acknowledge them for the amazing careers that they had. You spent time with both of them, playing against Manu as well.
And Hardaway, a little bit, World Cups and things like that,
of course.
Olympics. But Manu, I first saw Manu when he came on the scene playing in Italy. Before he went to the NBA, he took that route and just so crafty, so different the way he played, so free, and then spent a little bit of time with him with the Spurs and just being able to hang out with him. Just a great guy to be around.
Yeah. Good person.
Champion person.
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
Lovely superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of obviously that amazing run that he had with Spurs and things, but the Olympics and the way that he led Argentina really kind of
Game winners.
sticks with me, yeah.
Just the passion just oozed out of him the way he played the game. Sometimes, Pop and him used to butt heads a bit because he was wild and tried to sort of bring him back, but just that flair was incredible.
Okay. All right, closer to home, Southeast Melbourne.
Oh,
They haven't had the best of runs. They then went down to the Taipans over the weekend. Do we need to start talking about what needs to change at the organisation for next season?
it was a disaster on the weekend. I called that game, and that was a massive game for their club trying to make the playoffs. Not trying to win it, just trying to find a way to get in the playoffs. And they were outplayed. They looked like they were disinterested. Absolutely no effort or passion whatsoever. They were horrible.
Yeah, see, that's really disappointing, isn't it? You want the effort there, no matter where they are in their season and how much they're fighting for that spot in the top four. But they've slumped to sixth on the table now, and they're essentially out of the running.
Cairns had their two imports out, and they were just totally outplayed. They made a play at the end of the game to try and get back into it, but their mindset was disgraceful.
Yeah, okay. Nothing against Cairns either, by
Cairns,
the way. You can.
Well done to them.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they're having a bit of fun with it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not comparing them to the Grizzlies, but just in the way that they're really.
The Kings are with the Grizzlies. Let's not
But
let's not get carried away with
it's
Cairns.
that actual group support and the camaraderie that really has an impact on the court.
That's true.
It gets to our next point though. Is it the players or is it the coaching staff? Because I feel like we're going into, as we do every year, the coaching merry-go-round that we talk about. But Simon Mitchell probably is a man under pressure right now.
Well, it's got to be both. Both have to wear it. But unfortunately for Simon Mitchell, it's going to come down on him because defensively they haven't got it done since he's been in charge. And, their results overall have been pretty good, but with the strategies they've got and the way they play and their lack of effort at different stages and some of the games they've lost, I think he's going to be gone. And there's still a lot of talk around that Gorge is going to take that job.
Oh, yeah.
There's still a lot of and it makes sense. See, Gorge, this is what he does, right? So he's just getting his team going at the right time. Big budget in southeast Melbourne. His partner and his daughter's there. It's sort of all just... I tell you, the people that wouldn't want Gorge to coach in Melbourne...
Everyone else in the league.
No. Perth, Melbourne United, Sydney, those teams don't want to see Gorge with a big budget. They don't. It could happen. I reckon it could happen.
We'll get to Gorge and the Hawks in a second. The Sydney Kings, 10 straight. Are they going from strength to strength, or are there any chinks in the armour where the other teams are going to be able to wear them down?
Not right now. I can't see another team being able to compete with them over a series. The most impressive thing about this game was they came out, after they've won 9 straight, coming out against Tassie, they punched them in the mouth early. They were just so switched on, had so much respect for Tassie, and that comes from Chase Buford. But their transition game to start this game, they got stops, they ran. They looked like the Globetrotters at stages. The way they passed the ball on the break, their assists were incredible. We speak about Jalen Adams. He's been great, but Cooks was only 1 rebound, 1 assist off a triple-double. Jarrell Martin, he only played half a game. He still did what he did. DJ, Clark, Glover, they're just so deep and so exciting to watch right now.
Okay, super exciting. Not going to argue the fact that the two teams here in New South Wales are playing some good basketball at the moment. It's really exciting. But the Hawks.
Yeah.
You really questioned where they would sit with the other teams in the top 4, but they're proving themselves.
Oh, right now they've been able to turn the corner. And 6 weeks ago you couldn't say that, but I think they've won like 9 out of 11 or 10 out of their last 12 games. And, Gorge has spoken openly about the fact that he had to get his point guard dribbling the ball less, had to start sharing the ball, and he was big time at the end of this game. Made some really big shots, but this was a huge win for them. And there's question marks about Melbourne United, but the way these guys have been able to win 2 in a row against Melbourne United on the road has been incredible. And right now, it's the Battle of New South Wales.
Yeah.
It really is. The rest of Australia's behind. Don't worry about that. They are. The rest of the NBL, because Melbourne United have got question marks, Perth have got question marks, but I'll never write Perth off with Bryce. But right now, it's Sydney clear on top, and the Hawks are second.
All right. We'll keep things moving, but we'll have more on that shortly. All right, we're looking ahead to this week's games, bringing in former NBL MVP Derek Crocker, as we do every show. D, how you doing?
Very well, Joe. What's going on?
Well, I'm on top of the leaderboard, so pretty happy with that. Director Dave is there too. Hammer, second in 72. Matt, even though he hasn't submit his tips, he gets the away teams, and therefore...
so Matt's higher than Derek, and he doesn't even put his tips in and gets the away team.
He's on 71, and D's on 69.
Disgraceful, Rucker. Disgraceful.
Poor form. There are still 2 games to go in this round. New Zealand, Cairns tonight, Perth, Melbourne tonight. I cannot remember for the life of me who I picked. I hope it's Cairns and Perth, but probably not. Anyway, we'll look ahead to Thursday. Southeast Melbourne, who we know have been struggling, up against Melbourne United. D, who have you got in that one?
I've got Melbourne United, and such a promising season has just turned to absolute you-know-what, Shane, for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And again, I put it down to this point guard cluster that they've got going on. Leafa and Adnam, you've got to make a choice between one or the other. The other night, Leafa plays 31, 32 minutes. Adnam plays only 11 or 12, and Adnam was clearly the better player. I think Adnam, over the long haul, is the better player. The team performed better when he plays, and right now they lack intelligence as a basketball team. United aren't looking great at the moment, but they are going to thump Phoenix.
Well, I agree with you that the point guard problems have contributed to it, but it's the defense for me. They've sucked at the defensive end for 3 years, and they absolutely stunk it up on the weekend, losing to Cairns without 2 imports. They came with a bad attitude, bad energy, and they got their butt whipped.
Yeah, I would say all of us are going United for that game, guys. Okay, Perth hosting New Zealand. Hammer?
Perth are going to win this one. They have to win this one, and to show that they're a chance to win the championship again. Expect Bryce to get a lot of points in this one. He has to get his form going, as does Victor Law, but they'll bounce back strong.
All right, Dee, back to you again. Tassie hosting Cairns. Who have you got?
I've got Tasmania all over them. Look, they had a disappointing loss to the Sydney Kings, but you can write that one up as just whatever. Unfortunately, it probably ended their faint hopes for a playoff opportunity, but the Kings are going to roll through, and I think Tassie win this one quite easily over Cairns.
Hammer, what would you say?
I agree with that. I think this will be good for Tassie. They'll bounce back. It's in their culture. It's in their DNA. They play hard, and they'll be really disappointed with the way they played against the Kings.
I've got Cairns for that one, so
not a chance.
See what
Not a
happens
chance.
there.
Write your own ticket, Joe. Write your own ticket on that one.
Hammer, the Bullets and Hawks.
The Hawks, too strong. They have been unbelievable over the last 4 to 6 weeks. I think they've won 10 of their last 12. Really big game. They're big guys, big players stepped up against Melbourne United. They beat them twice.
This one without Tyler Harvey as well.
Yeah, they've been really good. And, you expect that from Gorge. We expected it earlier, but late in the season is when they've been able to click. And right now, they're the second best team in the competition.
Derek, your boy's going to upset the Hawks.
Was he talking about he expected it? You expected nothing. Just 3 weeks ago, you were saying they had no chance of making the playoffs. Now they're a title favorite.
Listen to what I'm saying. I said we expected it earlier in the season that they were going to bounce back. They didn't. They looked bad, and now they've found a way to be able to get their run on, which is what we expected earlier in the season, D. They're on Perth time. They're a bit behind.
I'm going to go on the record here, Joe, as saying this right now. There's only one team that can challenge Sydney, and it's not in Perth. And it's not in Melbourne. It's in Illawarra.
I beat you to it. I said it to Hammer last week. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. I think they're the only team that can stop them defensively. Adelaide and Sydney, Derek?
Do we bother?
Nah.
We do. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Now, look, I'm behind in the leaderboard, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here. The Kings can't win every game that they play now. Surely they can't win every game. I'm going to change my pick, and I'm going for the Adelaide 36ers.
Okay, I will tell you one thing.
I love that.
Sydney will get more than 110 points against the defence that's been displayed by the Adelaide 36ers.
Okay.
More
We've
than
got
110.
a number of side bets going already this season. You want to? I bet they don't get 110.
Yeah, you're going to owe me a lot of dinners, brother.
They don't get 110.
And that's what I don't need is more dinners.
Derek's in town next week. We can plan a big one. Hammer, New Zealand and South East Melbourne.
I don't really care. I really don't care. New Zealand. Did I say New Zealand? I can't even remember. I don't care. I really don't care.
There are going to be a number of games for the rest of the season that don't matter towards the playoffs. The top four is just about set in stone. But as Derek mentioned last week, it's basically a trial now for players to be picked up next season. So these games still do matter, especially individually.
The games don't matter. People remember what you do last as a player. That's what matters. These guys have to put in, because they need to sign contracts for their team or for another team. They need to create value where other people think they can fit their system, and that's what they're playing for. But I don't care about the result.
Derek, Cairns are hosting Melbourne on Sunday. United win that one as well?
Yeah, I think United win that. And it's funny that Shane says he doesn't care about something, but yet he can knock Southeast Melbourne for having a bad attitude up in Cairns.
I care about that.
Oh, okay, my fault.
I said I don't care about the result, but I care about their attitude because it stunk.
Yeah, I think, look, Melbourne United, they have to ramp it up. And Dean Vickerman is not going to allow this team to sleepwalk this late into the season. They'll go up there and they'll pound Cairns pretty hard. Although, Keanu Pender, he's turned into something.
He's been great. He really, he's the most, I don't know what the stats say, but as far as seeing somebody evolve, because his basketball IQ was so bad last year, he's really evolved. He was very, very impressive on the weekend, and well done to him.
Most improved candidate?
Well, I haven't seen the stats to be able to say that, but if you look at a transformation of a player, of how they've improved, He
in
has
the
a chance to be
conversation.
really good.
He's definitely in the conversation. It's another one of those circumstance situations that, from all reports, he really is enjoying living up in Cairns, and it translates to what he's doing on the court. Okay, final game. This one's Monday night. We'll look at Tuesday next week. But Derek, 36ers and Bullets.
Oh,
Come on, mate. Give us some passion on this
where's
one.
the game play? Where is this game, Joe? Is it in Adelaide?
Adelaide are hosting Brisbane, yes.
Okay. So I imagine the Bulls will probably organize like their last end of season bonding session. They'll go out to one of the vineyards the day before the game, kick back, have a nice time. Adelaide all over them.
Yeah, okay. All right. Time will tell. Dee, thank you so much for that. Get yourself up that leaderboard. Come on. What are you doing?
Okay.
All righty. More crystal gazing next week. All right, time to go in depth. Thanks to 2K, as we do each week. This week, slightly different though. A little bit of background. Hammer, you took on DJ Vasiljevic, Kingsguard, in a three-point shooting competition.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
You
bit of a mismatch.
You schooled him. You schooled him, apparently.
Bit of a mismatch. So, but all right, I wanted him to keep having an opportunity at the Heal name. So
Yes.
I thought, well, we'll have a crack at Heal Junior.
Here's a bit of
See whether he can have a crack at that.
a shot at redemption against Shyla.
Yeah.
Love
but,
it. Let's see. Let's find out how he went.
All right, Hoops Capital, we're finding out the best three-point shooter in the Hoops Capital. One club, two teams. Flames, the two young guns, and DJ. Let's get in. Who's first? Ty's first, all right. 25 shots, let's go. You're gonna need 20, I reckon. $18. I said 23, and there it is, baby. There it is. Come over here. Come over here. All right, yeah, 23. I said you need 23. You happy with that score? Not bad. What do you reckon, mate? Got that covered? 23. Surprised? No. No? All right. Here we go, mate. 24 to win. 23 will tie it. What a pressure, and you wanted her to go first. All right, here we go. That's money. 3. Still a good score. There's a little 20 piece. Congratulations, Shy. The winner of the Hoops Capital goes to the Flames, ladies and gentlemen. Good shooting. Good shooting, brother.
There you go.
I've got a message for DJ. Bump Owen against me. Bump Owen against my youngest daughter. Next one, you can play my wife. Now, she's not great from the 3. She's all right from 2s, but DJ, I don't reckon he can beat a Heal, can he?
I don't know. Maybe we actually should find out.
No,
Really?
he's a champion. He's doing so well too, DJ, with the Kings. So good sport and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
no.
well done, Shy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, Shy. 23 out of 25. That's how you do it.
That's unbelievable shooting, really.
That's how she rolls.
Yeah. No, love it. Sounds good. Points made is next. All right, Dee, sticking around for points made as always. We're going to talk NBA and the Brooklyn Nets. They've got 4 games left for the season. They've got the Rockets on Wednesday. It looks as if they're going to sneak into the play-in tournament. That then causes massive implications if you're, one, my team, the Miami Heat, that are on top of the East. Two or second seed there is Boston.
Yep.
That could be a problem. What do you do?
It's going to be a massive problem because they're going to make it. Don't worry about that. They'll make the play-in. They'll make it. They'll get 8th seed. And you're right. If you're Miami, you do all that work to get the first seed. You got a home court advantage, but now you're coming up with a team that's virtually at full strength. If you take Ben Simmons, he's probably not going to be there. But when you've got Kyrie, you've got Durant, you've got momentum. These guys are getting a lot of games together. Hopefully they get Harris back and some of these other pieces. They've got as much talent as anybody in the East to be able to get this done. So there is a lot of drama for Miami that have done all the hard lifting throughout the season, D.
You're very true. But I just don't think Brooklyn are the threat that perhaps we thought they were going to be. And one of the reasons I think this way is because Kyrie is now having to play a regular schedule. Remember before, he was only playing 1 or 2 games a week. He was fresh. He was busting people for 50. I think he may have even gone for 60. So I just don't know, being a smaller player and that greater load on your body, I'm not sure if he's going to be as effective as we probably saw he was prior to them lifting that vaccine mandate in New York City. Now, Miami are good. I think Miami will handle Brooklyn. They had that little spat, but they won today in a very tough matchup in Toronto. And I trust them, and I trust them about as much as I trust Milwaukee, who is the team to beat in the East, Shane. And if you don't think Giannis is the best player in the competition, I think you need to watch more Milwaukee basketball.
I've been on Milwaukee from the very start of the season that they're still going to win it. But the other thing I'd say about Kyrie and about Durant is they haven't played the full season. So that's going to help them come the end of the season. They haven't got all those miles in their legs. They're going to be a little bit fresher, but they've also had enough time to be able to run into the playoffs and get some form and get that feel as well. So I think they're dangerous. I agree with you about Miami, but it's definitely a matchup that they wouldn't want when you end up on the first seed.
No, Derek, I definitely appreciate your confidence, but I'm sitting here cringing going, I would really like Boston to take that number 1 seed right now.
Joe, what do your sources in America say about the probability of Ben Simmons participating in the rest of the season?
It doesn't look good, does it? From all reports, he's still a while off of even full practice. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him this season, though. Which would not be good. We need Patty to be firing for the Nets, though. We need Seth back. Imagine if Harris is back as well. They'll be absolutely fine, I think. I want to talk about the Brisbane Bullets. And, Dee, you've mentioned the fact that Lamar Patterson doesn't look like he's the right fit there, that they may not continue on with him at the organisation next season. Can you just explain, I guess, your philosophy on that and what you think should happen?
Okay, so yesterday watching the game, I made a tweet and I said, look, if the Bullets are not going to move forward with Lamar Patterson, if they see no future with him, then I don't see why they don't come to a mutual decision to terminate the relationship now. Open the path for some other guys to show what they can do. They've already seen the benefits in playing Tom Digbo more this season. He looks really good now, Shane. Some other guys have shown promise. And I think right now it's a fact-finding mission for the Bullets. And also, I want to see who has the heart, who wants to play basketball when it really doesn't matter. And this is a perfect opportunity to do that. There's some energy things that I don't like between Patterson and the team or the coach. There's something funky going on there. And you called the game yesterday. We both sat there and watched it. And I'm not sure if you agree with me, but there's some things that need to change in Brisbane.
Well, I just think his body language isn't great. His efforts aren't great enough. There was a time that he got subbed out in the timeout and he turned his back to the actual huddle and the coach and what they were saying. And I think when you have those sort of things happen, I agree with your philosophy. I don't think it's going to work. He's not the right fit for what they're trying to do, particularly with a new coach. So now put him to the side. Let's see who can step up, who can make plays, who wants to be part of this Bullets culture moving forward and gives the coach an opportunity to be able to assess him in real game time.
Because when you have that bad energy, and I'm not saying, look, we're not in there. We're just going by what we observe, and it looks like the energy is off. When that vibe exists like that, sometimes it is very difficult to implement a culture. When there's so much resistance, it's hard. It takes a very strong, experienced, and determined coach to overcome that type of stuff. I think that's very hard for a first-year coach to deal with.
Would Patterson get picked up by one other club next year? Because we know at his best, when he's fit and his talent, he's an all-star 5 in the NBL. But do you think, based on what clubs have seen, anyone picks him up next year?
I think with a lot of contingencies and heavily incentive laden a contract of that sort. He has the talent. I actually love when he's on. I really enjoy watching him play. I become a fan of his. But the problem is there's the other side where it looks like he's not responsible for his own physical profile. He doesn't do the work that's required to be a leader on that team. And this is a team that is seeking leadership. It's seeking a strong personality out there. And it's unfortunate that he hasn't been able to do it. Look, maybe it's Southeast Melbourne next year, but I actually think that Robert Franks would be a great target for Southeast Melbourne.
He'd be a great target for a lot of teams. He's been great.
He has. Be interesting to see how that plays out. We're just about wrapping up here. Have you got anything from Joel this week?
Oh, we do. He's just on fire, this man. Gary Trent Jr., $8 he tipped for him to get 25 plus against Minnesota. So he's doing well, our man, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get him in the studio next week as well. It's our 100th episode of the Basketball Show. Very excited. So Dee's going to be in the studio as well.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Before we let you go, Derek, you've been watching March Madness?
I did.
Stupid question,
fantastic.
right?
Yeah, it's been great. The women's and the men's has been great. Congratulations to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks on their big win today. And a big one. I was actually happy that Duke got beat.
Oh, were you? Oh, you Grinch.
No.
So who have you got tomorrow, the Jayhawks or Tar Heels?
I'm going to go with the Tar Heels. They know how to get it done in the big games.
Yeah, okay. I feel like the Tar Heels would be the biggest story just because North Carolina is that international brand. Everyone really knows it. But hopefully a good game regardless because the women's, although it was good today, it was a bit of a blowout. Dee, alrighty, we'll see you in person here next week. We'll be back as well.
Be ready.
Obviously.
You're going to be here, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you pick and choose. You never know.
Leave me alone. Thank you to TCL Mobile, 2K, and Bet with Joel as well. We'll be back next week. Oh. We forgot about this. Sorry, Director Dave. This popped up when we were talking about the Hall of Fame inductees earlier in the show.
See me posting him up? He's only a little fella, isn't he?
Yeah,
I just posted him up
though.
at a function there when the Americans took on the Boomers. So, good memories and well done for him for being considered for this role.
Yep. Nope, not because of
Role.
this
It was not really a role. But
Tim
whatever.
Hardaway, manager.
Good on you, mate.
All right, let's go. We'll see you guys next week.
This is a co-production by News Corp Australia and Closer Sports.